A very good afternoon. Welcome back to Les Sables d'Olonne. It's day number 85 on the racecourse. It's hard to believe that this is our last Vendée Globe live show. But first of all, the news from the racecourse. Well, there's two little match races going on the water just now. Damien Sagan is in 15th place, only 20 miles ahead of Switzerland's Alain Roura. And Benjamin Ferré, meanwhile, behind is only 46 miles ahead of Tanguy. Both are going flat out, and it's all about this battle to the finish line. Now, my guest today, I'm super privileged, super happy to have Clarisse Crémer with us on the plateau in the studio. Clarisse, 11th on your second Vendée Globe. Clarisse, how was your race? How did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot. Thanks, Andy. I was happy to have you over the phone sometimes. No, it was a wonderful race. I'm super proud of what we have achieved with my team, and it was not always easy. As you know, Vendée Globe is not always easy, but it was a wonderful time at sea.
Very different to the last one.
Very different. The last time I was a rookie, it was my first time. I learned a lot, but it was sometimes tough to deal with my emotions. This time I was, I think, a bit more master of my emotions, so it was a bit more easy.
Did that come with experience, or did you do anything special in terms of preparation?
I did a lot in terms of preparation, but I think it's a mix of work ahead of the race, and it's a sport of experience. You have to spend time at sea to get better, and I think that's what I have realized. You
didn't have a lot of time though beforehand, did you?
Well, yeah, in the end I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for that race again, but still in the 4 years in between the two editions, I spent a lot of time with specialists to work on my mental preparation, and I think it did change a lot.
Give us a little insight into how you did that, or what did you do?
It's a mix of a lot of different things, and I had different phases. At some point I was doing a lot of sophrology, breathing exercises. I did a lot of, je sais jamais dire ça en anglais, de l'hypnose, yeah.
Self-hypnosis.
Yes, I did a lot of that, and the last year I was followed by Sidney Gavinet, a former, well, he's still a sailor, but he doesn't do as many races as before, and he's helped me a lot to prepare for this race and to have a different point of view, to change my way of thinking, and he was very efficient with me.
What about that moment the other night when you realised you weren't going to get into the finish here? What happened exactly, and what was your reaction then?
Well, I didn't have the best reaction. I was super shocked. It's really weird when you've spent that much time at sea, projecting yourself on this finish line. You think you're going to arrive in Les Sables d'Olonne, and you imagine that your team is going to climb on board after the finish line, and suddenly you have someone telling you it's not going to happen.
So Alan called you, did he?
Alan sent me, I think he didn't want to call me.
He sent you a message.
He sent me a voice note, so I had time to settle. And I think, well, yeah, it would be interesting to listen to my answer, because it's basically, okay. I was a bit shocked. It was a bit of a shock. I knew it could happen, but I didn't want to think about it, so. Yeah.
And what about going into La Rochelle? You had the dress rehearsal for yesterday.
Exactly. In the end, I think I was lucky. It's always easy to say that afterwards, but to have two arrivals like that, I've been lucky. Yeah.
What was yesterday like then, coming into the channel?
Quite different from La Rochelle, because La Rochelle, it was like straight after the arrival, and you see so many people, whereas you haven't yet said hello to your family, and so it was a proper experience of being thrown into a crowd like this. This time I was a bit more rested, even if I still feel super tired. But it was great to enjoy an arrival like that and feeling more rested.
You've done a lot of media up in Paris, I believe. Is there much more interest in your race this time?
More interest in my race than last time?
Yes.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to judge. Last time was a bit different because I was the record holder as a female, so there was interest in this record. But yeah, I did a bit of media in Paris, which is always weird when you've been alone for almost 2 months and a half to be in Paris in the subway. It was really weird.
And what's it like to be back here now then? Back on dry land, and you're recovering, or is it just all adrenaline and a blur?
I think I'm feeling more and more tired day after day. I think the last week of this race was super intense because of all the low pressure systems we went through with Benjamin. And the 2 last days in the strong winds was a bit stressful. I didn't sleep much. So when I arrived, I had not slept properly for almost a week. Well, properly, you never sleep properly at sea, but you can sleep a bit more than what I did on the last week. So yeah, when I arrived, I think I was completely exhausted. So it's going to take a while to feel rested. Yeah.
It was interesting yesterday speaking with Sam because she had a real relationship with Boris, a real solidarity going through the same systems, and you had the same thing with Benjamin.
Yeah, it's always a bit hard to explain because you are competitors and you're fighting for. I was fighting for the 10th place with Benjamin. But still, you're happy to have someone who is close by, and you're happy to know that someone is experiencing the same kind of weather issues. So we had, a pretty tight relationship with Benjamin. Yeah.
And how do you feel about your result in the end?
I'm super happy about this result, super proud. I think we did a great work with the whole team. I have only 2 members of my team left in Les Sables today, but I'm super proud, and I will never have said enough thank you to them because they did great, and I did great at sea. I believe it was not an easy preparation. The 4 years between my 2 Vendée Globes were tough, and I didn't prepare exactly in the way I had imagined. So in the end, it was quite a nice surprise to realize I could be performant like that, even if you always can do better, but.
These things that you had to encounter and go through in the build-up, do you think that made you stronger going into the race?
It's always hard to say what makes you stronger, but it definitely made me a bit more grown up, that's for sure. So, and it made me, thanks to what happened to me, I had the opportunity to choose the Vendée Globe over and over. Like I had to fight for it, and at many occasions, I had the opportunity to just stop everything, and I decided to keep going. And that was a nice way of really feeling that I was where I belonged, where I was supposed to be when I was on my boat. So I think that helped a lot. Yeah.
Thank you, Clarisse. We'll come back to you in just a few seconds. I think we've got Benjamin Ferré. Benjamin, how are you? Having a real battle with Tanguy. Oh, I think no, there he is. Benj, can you hear us? Let's keep trying just for a few. Can you hear us? How are you? Benjamin Ferré, how are you? We'll try and get him back, but he's having a great race with Tanguy, Clarisse.
Yeah, he does.
And they're going fast.
Yeah, they're going very fast. You have to imagine that on this type of boats, compared to the foiling boats, going 18, 19 knots of speed for over 4 hours, super, super fast. They are pushing very hard, yeah.
And Tanguy's had a great race so far.
Yes, a very good race. And I think he's a bit annoyed at Benjamin because he's still a bit ahead of him.
But, I mean, what's it been like running 2 programs at the same time, the same family? I mean, do you ever talk about anything over the breakfast table other than the Vendée Globe and the Moccas? And...
We tried to, but it's true that that's what I say. 1 Vendée Globe in a family is already a lot. 2 Vendée Globes in one family is maybe a bit too much. At some point, it was a bit too much because there is always one of us who had an issue, whereas financial, technical, human issue, you always have someone who is complaining about something. But overall, it was we're super happy that we are almost
It'd be nice
finished.
to go back to real life in a few weeks, hopefully. But anyway, I think we've got Benjamin Ferré on audio. Benjamin, how are you?
Yeah.
Ah.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I heard the voice of Clarisse.
Clarisse, say hello and tell him to slow down.
Benjamin, you're going a bit too fast. I think you should slow down a little.
Hello, little grapefruit.
Yeah, he calls me grapefruit.
So yeah, I tell Clarisse we could not exchange anymore because there is no exchange between the sea and the earth. So she find another way to catch me.
Indeed, anyway, how's your race going? You're having a great battle with Tanguy, with the little kangaroo.
Yeah, the little kangaroo is still against me, and if I'm totally honest with you, I'm a bit exhausted this morning. I don't know how I can speak in English because I speak in French right now. And yeah, I'm a bit tired because it's been almost 3 months we do the race with Tanguy, and it's been 1,000 miles. We are between 10 and 20 miles together. So every minute are important, and yeah, I start to be tired.
And what's happening for the weather between where you are now and the finish?
Yeah, it's not so easy because it's very unstable. Like for the moment I speak to you, I have 8 knots, and 10 minutes ago I had 30, 40 knots. So it's kind of difficult to find the good sail and to be safe. So it's gonna be like this until the end, and it's gonna be the fight with Tanguy until the end. I know this, so it's not the moment to quit, but it's gonna be hard.
Well, listen, I wish you the very best of luck. Clarisse is going to have a quick word with you before we finish.
Yeah, you're doing great, Benjamin. I'm joking. You don't have to. You've done an amazing Vendée Globe, and I know you're feeling tired, but it's almost over. You're almost there. Keep going.
If you can call your husband to disturb him, it should be perfect.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore on WhatsApp, so I think he's focused on you, I'm afraid. Good luck.
Benjamin, thank you so much for your contact at this difficult time. Keep focused, and we'll see you in Les Sables d'Olonne in a few days.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good day, and congratulations to Clarisse.
So we didn't get to ask him, other than the Pamplemousse, which jungle animal do you think you are?
Well, he told me already, but I have no idea how you say that in English. Un fennec.
A phoenix?
Fennec, it's like a small fox from the desert fox.
Yeah.
You know, with big ears like that. I have no.
You don't understand why.
He will explain.
He will when he finishes. That'll be our first question.
Maybe it's because of the smell.
But yeah, these guys are having a great race.
Yeah, it's amazing to see where they are, because they are amongst much younger boats, and it's cool. I mean, they've been. I think they've always been close one to the other. So it's incredible how much of a race it is, of a regatta.
How much contact did you have with Tanguy during the race?
A little, but I had more contact with Benjamin than with Tanguy.
Really?
Yeah. Well, with Tanguy, we were exchanging every day a little bit, but not so much.
That was a conscious strategy, was it?
I think it's a way of protecting ourselves also. We were just saying, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. And exchanging a bit over the issues and things like that, but yeah, not so much.
Let's have a little look back at your race, Clarisse. I mean, did you remember moments, or is it all just one big blur at this point when you look back at your race?
Yeah, maybe I'm still a bit too tired to really realize what's happened, but when people talk to me about a few phases of the race, the memories come back really easily. And yeah, it's very nice to look at the map and at the tracker and remember how it's been. And yeah.
Let's have a little highlights of Clarisse's race. Just a couple of minutes, just see what you remember. Hopefully. All right.
Is it live from the sea, or?
Well, this was I think this was from when you were on board and close, I think, with Benjamin.
This is Sam. How you say?
But you had
Mainly the weather.
Mainly the weather, but you had some great moments like New Year with dolphins and so on.
Yeah.
Anything else you remember? Any days that stand out for you?
Yeah, there were many moments that were like, I think at the beginning it was the beginning was amazing because the weather was very calm, and so we had the opportunity to really realize we were doing the Vendée Globe, which was super cool for me, for my way of sailing.
You got into it gently,
exactly,
did you?
Exactly. And my first big memory, I think, was the electronic blackout that I had in the doldrums, which was a bit of a shock. But we found very fast what was the issue. But sometimes we lack a bit of humility, I think, on our boats because we are like almost as if we were on a rocket ship, just trying to go as fast, racing around the world, and suddenly you realize you have no communication, no autopilot, and that's a lesson of humility. So I think that's my strongest first souvenir memory of this race, and then it's hard to pick memories, but maybe when I don't know. Yeah, what is it? The waves? This is when I lost my. That was the France, where I lost the contact with Justine and the group ahead of me, and I had to spend some time on my mainsail to repair the hook. That was a big memory also. Not my favorite memory. Yeah.
And the albatross.
Albatross, yeah. Albatross. It's crazy how much the wildlife is a sort of. I don't know how to speak English anymore. I'm like Benjamin. I'm too tired to speak English. To have wildlife around your boat is. You haven't seen any human being for weeks, and to see dolphins, or I saw pilot whales also.
Wow, look at that. That's incredible.
Albatross, yeah, it's. You really have the feeling you're meeting with someone. It's like, it's not human beings, but it's definitely...
And they seem to be on your side. They're looking after you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you easily get a bit, you see magic everywhere. Yeah, I love these images. It's a very nice memory. And at the end of this day, I was very close to Benjamin, and for the first time in a while, I could see another boat, and we were talking to each other on the VHF. It was super nice.
But that seems to have been a feature of this race, the chance to converse and stay in contact. But from a racing point of view, you were very happy with the decisions you made and everything you did.
Well, you can always do better.
Oh, yes.
But, and of course, that's a difficult... you are always tempted to say, oh, if I had done that, if I had not broken my hook, if I had not done that, or if I had decided to do that. But overall, I think there are a lot of decisions that I did well. And I was sometimes struggling to really go as fast as I wanted with my... I could feel my boat could go faster, and I was struggling to really find the small secrets of my boat. But overall, I have very little regrets.
I'll come back to you in a few seconds. Alan Rouros in this duel with Damien Sagan. Just now he's about 20 miles behind, and we caught up with Alan earlier on today on Hublot.
So yeah, the finish is more than I was expecting. We're pretty close to each other between 8 boats, so that's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. We're pushing quite hard the boat right now, so that's another step because all the boats are pretty tired now, so it's quite funny. But yeah, we all won the top 15 on the fleet, so we're pushing really hard. So it's a pretty nice ending of Vendée Globe. The weather system at the arrival is quite tricky, but we will have to do with it. Yeah, it's pretty intense, the last bit. Can't really forget that I'm tired, even if I'm really tired. But I have to stay on watch nearly all the time because I've got no radar and my IS is really working badly. So I've got to stand in the cockpit and have a look around to make sure there is no boats, or to have them on VHF to manage to be safe sailing at the end. And actually, I don't really feel tired. I'm just pushing my boat because we were sailing so close to each other, and that's keeping me a bit alive. What will make the difference at the end? I think generation of boat that could make the difference. Degabort boats will be light wind at the end, so they might be pretty good at that part. But we'll have a bit of a reaching in strong wind from tonight to tomorrow. So that would be really great for floating boats. And I think what will make the difference is the love we put on the things we do, and till the arrival. So nothing is done till the line is not crossed.
So looking at the weather for the boats coming into the Bay of Biscay tomorrow, looking first of all at Damien Sagan. He'll probably come into the lighter breeze. It's quite complicated with a number of transitions all the way into Les Sables d'Olonne. A little bit better for the boats further back who are in the stronger breeze in the low pressure system. Giancarlo Padotti going out to the north, trying something different, obviously with his compromised rudder situation. Slightly difficult for him, but it's going to be very close between Damien Sagan and the other boats here coming in. Light breezes and Still the same situation coming into Les Sables d'Olonne from tomorrow, but a very, very close finish. And say it's going to be interesting to watch how Giancarlo fares going out on that routing to the north. Otherwise, looking at the next group behind Guirec Soudé, just to the west of the Azores. The Azores, a high pressure system, a little bit more complicated for this group behind, and watch how this plays out for them. This low pressure just to the north should give Guirec good conditions, southerlies and southwesterlies coming downwind in towards Les Sables d'Olonne. More complicated for the boats behind with more transition zones, but and then this high pressure system developing for them, so not quite so easy for them. And then for the group behind coming up towards the equator, and the doldrums, quite active doldrums. We can see further up to the north there, Arnaud Boissy still heading out to the west. Otherwise, still complicated down here off the cold front off Rio for the final trio. All kinds of breezes for them, but trying to work their way out of the high pressure system out towards the southeasterly trade winds. So that's the situation for these boats behind. And then finally, in here, a very, very special thank you to my family who've been waiting for me at home, my daughters, Kira and Amy in particular, and my wife, Nina. So a very special thanks to them for support all the way through. That's the weather for today. That is the weather for today. And so, Clarisse, what's it been like having a Glauche team, being part of a Glauche team, an English team, international team, being based out of Gosport?
Sorry, I'm a bit disturbed.
Being attacked by the wildlife.
Well, it was. I hadn't had the opportunity to work in English ever in my life, so it was quite tough at the beginning because it's another culture, it's another language, and it's true that sailing already has a lot of vocabulary. So to have to learn everything in English was another challenge, but in the end it was a great opportunity to discover something new, and they've done an amazing job for me to be at the start of this race, because it was not easy. We had to push to be able to finish all of the 4 transats we had to finish. And yeah, in the end, my boat was just fine. So
did you pick up any culture, anything particular in English? I didn't see you having the full English breakfast at any point, or eating baked beans, or...
Yeah, I already was a fan of the English breakfast.
Really?
I can't say I'm a fan of the English food in general. Sorry, guys.
There's time enough.
But no, overall, it was not only English. It was we had Australians, we had people from all over the world. So it was amazing to have the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people. It was.
But
nice.
travelling back and forwards to Gosport's another layer of
yeah,
logistics.
it's true that having to be both in France and in. Oh, we have the seagulls today. Having to be, my boat was based in Gosport, and the team was based in Gosport, so close to Portsmouth in England. It was not always easy. It was a bit of logistics.
The other skipper, Swiss skipper, who's still out on the race course, has actually just crossed the equator just after midday today, and that's Ollie here. And we caught up with Ollie earlier on today on Toute Goutte, and I think everything is good on Toute Goutte.
I'm feeling very well. It's super hot on the boat, and I'm not made for the heat. I prefer the cold over the heat, but not too long, and it will get colder again. It feels really good to be making some solid progress in the right direction, and with steady winds. The boat's in good shape, especially now that I can sail on starboard. You know, I can use my keel and stuff. So the boat's in really good shape, and the weather forecast is looking good as well. So I really hope that everything works out for a weekend finish in 2 weeks' time. But until then, I have to stay switched on. Don't make any stupid mistakes. Don't break the boat. Look after the boat, because yeah, it does get tired slowly. I do get tired, and the boat gets tired. So yeah, just keep focused, stay concentrated, and hopefully see you on land in just under 2 weeks.
And our quick run through the ranking, well, it's still two groups super close, or two pairs super close together. Damien Seguin and Alan Rura only 20 miles apart. Damien in 15th, Alan Rura in 16th. Boats of a similar generation going at similar speeds, a great boat race all the way into the finish. So too the battle between Benjamin Ferré and Tanguy Turkey. Still only, 18 miles between them, between 17th and 18th. Isabel Josh coming in 19th. Conrad Coleman pushing hard in 21st, Giancarlo Padotti in 22nd. Our internationals, Kojiro Shiraishi in 24th. Oliver here, 30th, Jin Kun Chu, 31st. Not so much between them, only 70 odd miles. And Denis van Berenberg in 34th, and still having a great race and enjoying himself. So that's the ranking. Indeed, that is the ranking. Still a lot of skippers out there. Clarisse.
Yes, you have to. A lot of skippers are still out there. You have to follow the race.
Exactly. You have to follow the race. Keep following the race all the way to the end, to Denis van Veenberg, whoever comes in towards the end of February. But Clarisse, what's next for you?
Rest, sleep, eat, and meet with Tanguy tomorrow also.
Fantastic.
But, yeah, it's mainly that at the moment. So it's a very nice program.
And what's in the summer? Are you going to be back racing, or?
I don't know yet what's going to be my sailing life in the months to come. But I want to take the time to be grateful for this amazing experience I've had with this Vendée Globe, and yeah, I just need a bit of time.
Nice to spend some time with your daughter.
Also, yeah.
What was it like being away from her? I can imagine that was hard.
I think since she was born, I had always imagined I was going to do this Vendée Globe, so I was prepared to leave her for 2 months like that. But so in the end, I think during the race I was okay. It's just at the very end when I started projecting into the end and into the arrival that it was a bit more tough, because I just wanted to be with her.
And now you just want to spend all the time with her. How is she?
She's fine. She's she's only 2 years old, but she's not making me pay for any of it at the moment. So
who's she most like? Is she like you or Tanguy, or a nice mix?
I'm not sure I'm the one who can judge about that.
Clarisse, thank you so much for being with us. Enjoy your relaxation, your time off now, and enjoy Tanguy's return. So now then, the Vendée live shows are very, very much like the race itself. Looking back, we started on the 11th of November. We started then, and you're just wondering how you're going to get to the final finish line. Sunday, the 2nd of February, has always been our finish line. And so to get here today, it really is very, very special. And so like the skippers, we have our good days and we have our bad days. But as usual, it's been a huge, huge team effort. Special thanks, of course, to Dee Cafari, who's done a great job, and not just producing some great shows, but lots of love and support from Dee. And also to our regular guests, to Will Harris, Mike Golding, Marcus Hutchison, of course, Alan Roberts, and more recently Pip. Thanks to all the skippers from 1st to 40th. They've been super supportive, very, very patient, and all the guests who have been in our studio and online. Otherwise, the production team, Bertrand and Caro in particular, who've looked after me every day, all the way through. All the editors who make magic every single day. The Cesium Songs team backstage just now. They do a fantastic job, and they love it when I go rogue. To Max, Edwige, and indeed Helene, advice, good humour, and support all the way through. And so that's really all we have time for today. I'd just like to thank everybody and have the whole team on stage with us as we finish our last Vendée Globe Live. Come on, you're going to come out as well.